Good morning, everyone. So, today we will have some basic knowledge about what is evidence law and what does Indian Evidence Act contains and teaches us. So, without wasting any time, let's start with it. Let's start with the first question, that is the standard of proof in fill in the blanks. The options are as follows: A. Civil and criminal cases is the same. B. Criminal cases is much more higher than in civil cases. C. Criminal case is lower than in civil cases. Or D. Either A or C are correct. The correct answer to this question is option B. That is, the standard of proof in criminal cases is much more higher than in civil cases. Moving on to the next question, which is presumption under the law of evidence are which type of presumptions? The options are A. Presumption of facts, B. Presumption of law, C. Both A and B, or D. Only B and not A. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is both A and B are correct. That is to say, the presumption under the law of evidence are presumption of facts as well as the presumption of law. Let's move on to the next question, which is under the law of evidence, the relevant fact must be dash. Fill in the blanks with the correct option. The options are A. Must be legally relevant, B. Must be logically relevant, C. Must be legally and logically relevant, or D. Must be legally and logically relevant and admissible. The correct answer to this question is option A. That is, under the law of evidence, the relevant fact must be legally relevant. The next question is, relevancy is which type of question in the court of law? The options are A. The question of law and can be raised at any point of time. B. The question of law but can be raised at the first opportunity. C. The question of law which can be waived. Or D. The question of procedure which can be waived. The correct answer to this question is option A. That means to say, relevancy is a question of law and can be raised at any point of time. Basically, relevancy is a concept in which the court or the parties argue for the admissibility of evidence. The evidence can only be admitted if it is relevant to the particular case or matter. So, the question of relevancy is of utmost importance because on that particular thing, the whole case or a matter depends. So, relevancy is basically a question of law that can be raised at any point of time regarding any matter of fact or regarding any evidence. The next question is the question of mode of proof is which type of question? The options are A. It is a question of law which can be raised at any time. B. It is a question of procedure but has to be raised at the first opportunity and stand waived if not raised at the first opportunity. C. A question of procedure and can be raised at any time. Or D. A mixed question of law and fact. The correct answer to this question is option B. That is, the question of mode of proof is a question of procedure but has to be raised at a first opportunity and stand waived if not raised at a first opportunity. This means to say that the mode of proof is important for the procedure to be taken in the court of law. This is because a matter or a fact to decide if it is relevant to the matter or not has to go through some mode of proving it to be proved or disproved. So, if the mode of proof has to be questioned, it has to be done on the first opportunity. And if it is not done, then it is waived off in the further proceedings. question is, which of the following documents are not admissible in evidence? The options are A. Documents improperly procured, B. Documents procured by illegal means, C. Both A and B, or D. Neither A nor B. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is, neither documents improperly procured nor documents procured by illegal means are not admissible in evidence. All the above documents are admissible if they are genuine and if they pertain to giving the evidence related to a particular matter or facts of the case. The next question is, the facts which form the part of the same transaction are relevant. This is given under which of the following sections? The options are A. Under section 5 of the Evidence Act, B. Under section 6 of the Evidence Act, C. Under section 7 of the Evidence Act, or D. Under section 8 of the Evidence Act. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is, section 6 of the Evidence Act talks about the facts which form the part of the same transaction are relevant. So let us understand what does section 6 of the Evidence Act states. Understand what is section 6. Section 6 states the relevancy of facts forming part of the same transaction. As per the section, facts which though not an issue are so connected with the fact and issue as to form part of the same transaction are relevant, whether they occurred at the same time and place or at different times and different places. So this section means that the series of facts which may not be an issue if they are seen in the individual form, but if they form a series to the fact and issue there and comes in the same transaction, that then those facts also become relevant to the facts and issue and can be admissible in the court of law as evidence, because they become relevant in showing this time and place on which a particular thing or an act happened. After having a basic idea of section 6, let's proceed to the next question, that is, a fact forming part of the same transaction is relevant under section 6 of the Evidence Act if. Complete the sentence with the following options. The options are A. If it is an issue and have occurred at the same time and place. B. If it is an issue and may have occurred at different times and places. C. Though not an issue and may have occurred at the same time and place or at different times and places. D. Though not an issue must have occurred at the same time and place. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is, a fact forming part of the same transaction is relevant under section 6 of the Evidence Act, though not an issue and may have occurred at the same time and place or at different times and places. Let's move to the next question, which is several classes of facts which are connected with the transaction in particular mode are relevant under which of the following sections? The options are A. Under section 6 of the Evidence Act, B. Under section 7 of the Evidence Act, C. Under section 8 of the Evidence Act, or option D. Under section 9 of the Evidence Act. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is, under section 7 of the Evidence Act, the several classes of facts which are connected to same transaction in particular mode are relevant is stated. So let us understand much about section 7 of the Evidence Act. Let us now see what is section 7. Section 7 states facts which are the occasion, cause or effect of fact and issue. This section states that facts which are the occasion, cause or effect, immediate or otherwise, of the relevant facts, a fact and issue, which constitute the state of which under which they happened or which afforded an opportunity for the occurrence of the transaction are relevant. So as per this section, each and every fact which deals with the cause and effect or that happened immediately before the fact in issue where automatically becomes the relevant fact as it gives an insight of what led to the fact and issue and how that fact is relevant and important in a particular situation or a particular matter. The next question is motives of preparation and conduct are relevant. This is given in which of the following sections? The options are A. Under Section 6 of the Evidence Act, B. Under Section 7 of the Evidence Act, C. Under Section 8 of the Evidence Act, or D. And Section 9 of the Evidence Act. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is, Section 8 of the Evidence Act provides that the motive of preparation and conduct of anything that is pertaining to a matter are relevant. So let us understand Section 8 in a more broad and elaborative manner. Let us understand what is Section 8. The Section 8 states that motive, preparation and previous or subsequent conduct. As per the section, any fact is relevant which shows or constitutes a motive or preparation for any fact and issue or relevant fact. The conduct of any party or of any agent to any party to any suit or proceedings in reference to such suit or proceeding or in reference to any fact and issue therein to or relevant thereto, and the conduct of any person, an offence against whom is the subject of any proceeding is relevant, if such conduct or influences or is influenced by any fact and issue or relevant fact, and whether it was previous or subsequent thereto. The first explanation also states that the word conduct in this section does not include statements unless those statements accompany unexplained facts of other statements, but this explanation is not to affect the relevancy of statement under any other section of this Act. The second explanation states that when the conduct of any person is relevant, any statement made to him or in his presence or in hearing which affects such conduct also becomes relevant. Let's move on to the next question, that is under Section 8 of the Evidence Act, which of the following options are correct? The options are A. Motive is relevant, B. Preparation is relevant, C. Conduct is relevant, or D. All of the above. The correct answer to this question is option D, that is all the above options, that is motive, preparation and conduct, all three are correct and are relevant in a particular act. Moving on to the next question, which is for the conduct to be relevant under Section 8 of the Evidence Act, it must dash. Fill in the blanks with the correct options. The options are A. Must be relevant, B. Must be subsequent, C. Must be either previous or subsequent, or D. Only subsequent and not previous. The correct answer to this question is option C, that is, for the conduct to be relevant, it may be either previous or subsequent. Now let's move on to the next question, which is facts which are necessary to explain or introduce relevant facts of place, name, date, relationship and identity of parties are relevant. This thing is given under which of the following sections? The options are A. Under Section 8 of the Evidence Act, B. Section 9 of the Evidence Act, C. Under Section 10 of the Evidence Act, or D. Under Section 11 of the Evidence Act. The correct answer to this question is option B, that is Section 9 of the Evidence Act states that facts which are necessary to explain or introduce relevant fact of the place, name, date, relationship and identity of parties are relevant. Let us understand what is Section 9. Section 9 states facts necessary to explain or introduce relevant fact. This section states that facts which are necessary to explain or introduce a fact and issue or a relevant fact or which supports or rebut an inference suggested by a fact and issue or a relevant fact or which establish the identity of anything or a person whose identity is relevant or fix the time or place at which any fact is issue or relevant fact happened or which show the relation of the parties by whom any such fact was transacted are relevant insofar as they are necessary for that purpose. The next question is, under Section 9 of the Evidence Act, which of the following options are correct? The options are A. The identification parade of suspect are relevant. B. The identification parade of the chattels are relevant. C. Both A and B are relevant. Or D. Only A and not B is relevant. The correct answer to this question is option C. That is, under Section 9 of the Evidence Act, both A and B are correct. That is, the identification of parade of the suspect are relevant as well as the identification parade of chattels are also relevant. This was the end of our first presentation. Hope you all liked it and hope this presentation or video was able to teach you something about the civil procedure code. Thank you for watching it. Thank you.